Tom woke up early on a bright Saturday morning, feeling excited because today was the day he was finally going to the supermarket with his mother. And he loved supermarkets more than playgrounds, because supermarkets had colourful aisles, moving trolley wheels, shiny shelves, and so many things stacked perfectly that made him feel like he was walking into a treasure land. The sunlight came through the curtains and hit his small backpack, the one he planned to take with him because he liked carrying his own shopping list, even though his mother always secretly rewrote everything more neatly. But Tom felt proud because having a list made him feel responsible like a big kid. And after brushing his teeth and putting on his favorite yellow t-shirt, the one with tiny stars printed on it, he zipped up his backpack and walked toward the door where his mother was tying her shoelaces, ready for the trip. And as they walked outside, the fresh breeze made Tom feel motivated, as if the world had opened its doors just for him. And once they reached the car, he hopped inside, holding his list close like a map guiding him to treasure. And the supermarket stood like a bright, colourful castle at the end of the road, big glass doors, wide windows, and a sign that said Fresh Market. Your friendly shopping home. When they entered, cool air brushed across Tom's face, and he felt like he had stepped into a new world filled with shiny lights, music, and the smell of freshly baked bread. And he looked around as the doors opened automatically. Amazed again, even though he had seen automatic doors many times, still believing, deep down, that maybe the doors recognized him and welcomed him specially. He grabbed a small trolley, the child-size one with 4 tiny wheels that squeaked a little, and pushed it proudly, feeling like a real shopper. And his mother reminded him to start with the fruits and vegetables aisle. So Tom walked toward the left, where bright yellow bananas, shiny red apples, and green grapes formed beautiful color patterns under the lights. Tom carefully studied the apples because he had seen on his list that he needed to put apples first, and their sign said apples $1.50 per pound, and he felt very grown-up reading the price, so he selected the shiny apples, placing them slowly and proudly into his trolley, making sure not to bruise them. And while he chose grapes, he remembered his manners and turned to an employee nearby, giving his politest voice inside his mind, thinking about how to say it nicely because polite requests made good shoppers, even though the narration doesn't contain dialogue. They rolled the trolley toward the vegetables section, where broccoli stood like tiny trees, carrots resembled orange pencils, and tomatoes sparkled like red marbles, and Tom noticed a sign that said fresh carrots, 99 cents per pound, which made him even more excited because comparing prices and choosing the best items made shopping feel like a game. He picked the carrots and placed them gently into the trolley. Tom saw chocolate chip cookies with a sign that said 6 cookies, $3.50, and he thought they were worth the price because cookies always brought happiness. And even though he wanted to grab all the cookies, he reminded himself that polite shoppers only take what they need. So he placed 1 packet into his trolley and silently promised himself he would eat one as soon as he reached home. Then they walked to the dairy aisle, where the air suddenly became colder like a refrigerator, and Tom could see little mist clouds forming when he breathed out. The shelves were full of milk cartons, yogurt cups, cheese blocks, and butter, all arranged neatly like white mountains in a cold land. Tom checked his list again. It said milk, so he read the price. Whole milk, $2.80 per gallon. He carefully lifted the milk carton with both hands and placed it into the trolley. And then they entered the snack aisle, which was like a world of temptation full of crispy chips, pretzels, and popcorn. Tom checked price tags and finally spotted one snack priced at $1.60, the cheapest among the ones he liked, so he placed that packet into the trolley proudly because being smart with money made him feel responsible. The cereal aisle came next, full of colourful boxes with cartoon characters smiling as if calling out to him, but cereal wasn't on the list today, and Tom practiced discipline by not reaching toward anything and simply rolling past that aisle like a responsible shopper. Next came the frozen section, even colder than the dairy aisle, like stepping into a freezer. Tom saw peas, corn, and small pizza boxes priced at $4.50, and though he loved pizza, he reminded himself that frozen foods were extra items, not essentials, so he walked away politely without complaining. Then the cleaning supplies aisle appeared, filled with detergents, dish soaps, and sponges. He thought it was funny how something small could make so many bubbles. With his trolley nearly full, Tom admired how the supermarket felt like an adventure map, every aisle like a new chapter filled with mini treasures. Finally, they reached the checkout counter, where Tom felt proud of how he had behaved, polite requests, comparing prices, and choosing only what was needed. On the small shelf beside the counter, he saw a keychain shaped like a miniature shopping cart, and although he really wanted it, he paused and reminded himself to ask politely. He made a silent, polite request in his mind, and when he saw approval, he placed it on the conveyor belt. The cashier scanned each item, and Tom realized that shopping wasn't just about picking things, it was about responsibility, prices, choices, and most importantly, treating people politely. Tom's trolley rolled forward slowly as he left the checkout counter with his mother, but the supermarket adventure was far from over, because Tom had just discovered that the supermarket had a second section on the other side, one that he had never explored before, filled with household supplies, toys, and small decorations that made the place feel like a mini world where everything one could ever need lived together. And as Tom pushed his trolley, he passed a long aisle filled with lunch boxes, water bottles, colorful food containers, and reusable shopping bags, and even though none of these items were on his list, Tom admired how neatly arranged they were, feeling as if the supermarket workers were artists painting with objects, and while looking around, he noticed price tags hanging neatly. As he entered the household cleaning aisle, Tom saw shelves lined with cleaning sprays, mops, and dustpans, and he wondered how adults remembered the names of so many cleaning products, because to him they all smelled the same, like lemon or mint. But as he walked by, he noticed different price labels, and the idea of understanding prices gave Tom a strange sense of power. Almost like he could compare value like a smart shopper would. His mother reached for a pack of cleaning wipes, and Tom watched how she scanned the shelf calmly, comparing prices and looking for the best deal. And he thought that adults must be heroes in disguise because they made hundreds of tiny decisions every time they shopped. He pushed the trolley further, entering an aisle filled with paper goods, paper towels, napkins, tissues, and toilet paper, stacked like white mountains, and he noticed something very interesting. Many items had labels like buy one, get one free and special discount, and Tom understood that sometimes polite requests weren't about asking for toys or snacks, but about asking adults if a discount was a good deal, and he practiced saying a polite request in his mind like, "Could we please get this?" It saves money. Even though there was no dialogue, Tom imagined himself sounding responsible, and that made him smile. They reached the kitchen utensil aisle, where shiny spoons, spatulas, and whisks hung like medals, and Tom loved the metallic clinking sounds when someone brushed against them accidentally. He saw a sign above that said affordable kitchen tools. He watched his mother pick a wooden spoon, carefully checking the price and the quality, and Tom admired how calmly she made decisions. Tom then followed his mother to the drinks aisle, where colorful juice bottles lined up like soldiers waiting for orders. Tom loved how drinks had so many flavors: orange, apple, berry, and even though juice wasn't on today's list, Tom admired the section quietly and trained himself to keep walking even when he wanted something, because sometimes polite behavior meant not asking at all. They walked toward the rice and grain aisle, and Tom was amazed by the giant packets stacked like sandbags, some weighing so much that they required 2 hands to lift. And Tom wondered how his mother knew which rice tasted best, because all packets looked exactly the same to him. Next came the pasta and canned goods aisle, where canned beans, corn, pasta sauce, and noodles filled the shelves like colorful towers, and he realized that snacks seemed exciting, but ingredients for meals helped families stay nourished. Tom imagined himself growing older and coming here alone one day, picking food based on price and quality like a true grocery champion. Then they reached Tom's favorite aisle, the stationery section, where notebooks, pens, and colorful pencils were kept. This wasn't part of grocery shopping, but supermarkets always had surprises, and Tom carefully examined pencil sets that cost $3, notebooks priced at $1.25, and stickers priced at 80 cents. He held a pencil pack in his hand and imagined politely asking if he could buy it, remembering that shopping isn't only choosing what you want, but choosing wisely. And when he read the price and saw that it was affordable, he lifted the pencil pack and placed it gently into the trolley, feeling like he had made a mature decision. They moved on to the toy section, small but magical. Toy cars, tiny stuffed animals, small puzzles, and bouncing balls filled the shelf, and Tom's eyes lit up when he saw a miniature toy trolley that cost $1.25, and he imagined buying it to remember today, his responsible shopping day. And though he wanted it badly, he used polite thinking and asked himself if it was necessary, and after a long moment he decided that he already got the pencil pack, so he would skip this one to be fair and responsible. That moment made him feel like he had grown older. Finally, they reached the second checkout, where Tom unloaded the new items he had picked responsibly. He watched the cashier scan items: cleaning wipes $3.20, toothbrush $2.30, pencil pack $3.00, and Tom was fascinated by how the scanner beeped for each item. The cashier printed the receipt, and Tom learned something new. The total cost wasn't the sum of just prices, but also included taxes and discounts, and Tom felt proud that today he understood money better than before. After paying, Tom carried a small shopping bag on his own, feeling responsible, and as they walked toward the doors, he noticed that the automatic doors opened again, as if saying, "Thank you for shopping responsibly today." And Tom promised himself quietly that every time he shopped, he would compare prices, make polite requests, and choose wisely.